Thank you so much, Hillary. We have Pat in the studio today because I've got something very exciting.
All right. What is it?
I think I have a new lease on life. I have a
since yesterday.
Since yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah. I had a game-changing day yesterday that I think. Hey, wait a minute. I think I know. There's 3 ways that all of this ends.
Mm-hmm.
And now most people think they know how it's going to end one way or another, but I want to lay out the options. And I think I have a third option that nobody has really thought of that I think is kind of exciting that I think we should consider.
All right.
Okay, so and Stu already has a little. I gave him a little bit of a preview.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and I think it's gonna ring true with the typical amount of Glenn optimism that you've come to know and expect from this program. Yeah, so I think everything's gonna be fine.
And I think it does ring true, though, doesn't it, Stu? It does ring true.
Parts of it certainly, yes.
So I'm gonna give you that because I'm full of hope and sunshine today, and it's Friday, so that's what Fridays are for. So I thought we would do that, and then I would really like your help on understanding some stories today. We're going to use
What you're about to hear is the fusion of entertainment and enlightenment. This is the Glenn Beck Program.
Well, hello, America, and welcome to the Glenn Beck Program. You know, for a very long time, people have looked at this show and looked at me and said, he's nuts. And other people have said, yeah, maybe, but maybe not. So if you're in that last category of, yes, he might be nuts, but maybe not. What if he is right? For those few people, I've got something very exciting to talk about. Yesterday, I spent a lot of time thinking about the one question that everybody wants to know. What comes next? Right? How does this end? Don't we all kind of want to know that? What happens next? I've got 3 options for you. And the third option, I don't think anybody's even thought of or talked about yet, or at least talked about openly. And I think we're going to need to do that because I think it's a very exciting option that maybe we can get a few people on board and do. And how does it end? What happens next? Oh, you're going to love this. It's coming up next. I'm going to share it with you. And again, maybe I'm crazy, but what if I'm not? In 60 seconds.
Weekend, I'll tell you that.
Right. I mean, it's something you only would express on a Friday. It's a feel-good Friday.
Exactly.
All right. So, yeah. But you think there's a chance I'm right, correct?
Everything at this point is a chance. I'm never willing to rule out anything ever again.
Stu, how many times have I said things that were absolutely crazy and then they happen?
It's occurred more times than I'd like to talk about.
Right. Yeah. Even more times than you and I both thought just about 4 months ago.
Yeah.
All right, let me tell you about ZipRecruiter. No, I need something peppy. Can you give me the full gospel choir? I need something really peppy and exciting here. Sarah, did you not hear it in my voice, Sarah? Yeah. That it's a Friday, and we are nothing but sinners that need to come back to Jesus. So yesterday, by the way, welcome to my good friend Pat Gray, who has always been one of my trusted counselors, and as is Stu Brigier. His real name is Steve, but nobody calls him that because he didn't speak up. You see what happens when you don't speak up?
Yeah, this happens to you. Me, I happen.
Yeah, you turn into Stu. All right. So as I see this, there are 3 options on how this ends. 1, Because I have war gamed this. You guys know this. I have war gamed this for almost 20 years now. And, I've said, we're going to miss the exits. We're going to miss the exits. And then there you are, bridge is out. And it kind of feels that way. But there is one more exit. There is one more exit. And here it is. That we find a group of Americans that are so Martin Luther King-ish that they're willing to stand peacefully through anything. I mean, take a crowbar to the head, and they're willing to, we can get them all together, and we can find a couple of leaders like a Martin Luther King or a Gandhi, and we can all rally around these people and put together a well-coordinated and well-financed movement. Because Martin Luther King was also very well-financed. And then we can stand against Black Lives Matter, which is this just ragtag band of people that currently have $1.6 billion at their disposal. So we can do that. And we can march right into the gates of hell, and everybody, the press, will be there, and they will be witness to good versus evil. And it will be on the screen side by side, and people will go, I like those people more than those people. And that's the way to change things. And that we all of a sudden stop being the people that Americans have seemed to turn into, and we actually start taking our God and our covenant seriously. And we kind of go back to not being the whore of the earth.
I'm just going to speak up here and say that one sounds hard. It sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah.
And
that one sounds hard.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that one's going to happen. Mm-hmm. It would be good, though, wouldn't it?
That would be great.
Like if we were the people of the 1960s, where we still had churches and, people were speaking up at the pulpit and, we had the Constitution in common and a love for our country in common. That one could have happened. That one would be nice. And I still think we try that one. I don't think it's going to happen, but I still think we try that one. Now, the other one is, we just kind of keep doing what we're doing, and then the Marxist and the deep state take over, and we lose the country, probably in the next 4 years, and America as we know it is over, and then the singularity comes, and we're already slaves, but some people get little chips, and so they become super, super powerful and super, super smart. And there's no way to compete with them. So our children and our grandchildren are forever slaves to a really dark system.
Okay.
Now, I think that's a possibility, too. Right? Mm-hmm. That's a bad one. Mm-hmm. We become worse than the Nazis because of our technology. And we just end all freedom on the end, and America just becomes this dark, dark place, and all man's freedom is lost, and possibly forever.
That's it, though. There's nothing worse than that could happen.
No, I think that's
okay.
I mean, you give me some time, but I think that's the dark end of the scenarios.
Okay.
Don't you think?
So I have the title of the first one as Big Group of MLKs Randomly Emerge. And then the second one, Slaves to...
Well, we have to find them.
Right. Well, yeah, sure. And then Slaves to a Nazi System, but darker as the second possibility.
Right.
Okay. All right.
Right. Now, let me ask you, which one do you think has a better chance out of those scenarios of happening?
Well, I thought there was a third scenario, so let's...
Well, there is, but I'm just saying, out of those two scenarios,
Pat, number two.
Which one do you think?
Number two.
Number two, right?
No doubt in my mind.
Right. It's just no doubt in my mind. I mean, it would be really nice, but this thing is so well coordinated and so freaking evil, and so well financed that there's no way out. I hate to be a pessimist, and I'm not. I actually believe in the first one. No, I want to do the first one, But I think we all, somewhere inside, we all go, yeah, that number 2 scenario, that could happen. If I would have said this to you 6 years ago, I wouldn't have said it because it wouldn't have seemed possible, right? Mm-hmm. 6 years ago, I say, and we turn into a dark Nazi state. I think we all go, that's not going to happen. Today, I think everybody within the sound of my voice, even if they say that's not going to happen, they're like, what? There's maybe a possibility.
Well, yeah, because a lot of it has already happened. So you could transform the rest of it by this afternoon.
Right. It's only going to get faster from here, right?
Yes.
Well, I think we're all clear. Okay. All right. Now, I thought of this third scenario yesterday, and I thought, wait a minute. Hold it just a second. This one, I think, has a better chance of working and happening. So here, let me lay out the third scenario.
Here, this is going to be fun.
Yeah, this is a good one. This is a good one. And I think there's a real chance this one happens. At least this is the one that we should hope for. We should be working towards, I think. So here's the scenario. We all start working on the Martin Luther King thing, but someplace inside of us, we all know that ain't going to happen. But we actually try to do it. And in the course of doing that, a small number of us really change. A small number. It's not going to be a lot of people because, Christians and all of that nonsense is going to be just more and more laughed at as the time goes on. So it's not going to be
Christians and all of that nonsense. Did you care to clarify that one a little bit?
Yeah, it's all going to be. Yeah, no, it's all going to be deemed hooey soon by scientists and those in the know. And so so it's not going to be popular. And it's not necessarily going to be fun, but we'll change and it'll be really good. It'll be really good. And then the country is overthrown by the, dark forces of Marxism and death and evil. And we lose the country as we know it by, let's say, 2024. Okay. And then there's like 7 years of tribulation. But then Jesus comes.
Okay. All right.
Okay. All right.
So then Jesus comes and everything is great again.
Okay.
And when you look at it that way, you're like, wait a minute. 7 years and then the next 4 and then those really crappy 7 years. I can do that. That's not so bad. You know what I mean? It's going to be really crappy. And the dark Nazi stuff is going to happen to the United States. But then Jesus comes. Now, here's the beauty of this. Because just a few of us are willing to look at this and go, that's a possibility. Or even those who are like, I don't think that's going to happen, but I'd rather hope for that than just the gulag with the Borg, in an SS uniform. Because here's the thing. If we actually start to look at it that way, then even if Jesus doesn't come, we're the happy ones in the concentration camp or the gulag. And I think that's a win.
So your optimistic scenario is essentially we have the nice room at the concentration camp.
Oh, no, we have the worst room in the concentration camp, but we're happy. We're happy.
I shouldn't have overstated the positivity of that.
Because if we just endure it for 7 years, we know that the second coming of Jesus will be here, and then everything's fine.
Yeah, but let's say that you're one of those who are like, wait a minute. Let's just say that you're one of those who are like, I don't think I want to put all my eggs in the Jesus is coming back basket. Okay, because they've been doing that for a long time. That's good in this scenario, because if the second scenario is what really is going to happen, well, again, we've changed and we're happy in the gulag.
Okay. All right. So to summarize here, if I could, we have scenario 1, which is a big group of MLKs are discovered in an archaeological dig of some sort.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Number
freezers. Maybe Walt Disney. Maybe we defrost him.
Okay.
Maybe he's the guy. I don't know.
Number 2 were slaves to a Nazi system, but darker, possibly run by animated skeletons. I added that last part because it just seemed like it worked.
Animated would not be accurate, but audio animatronic, maybe, yes.
Well, I'm thinking they're meaning not animated as in drawn, but just alive and moving around. They're not like.
Well, that's a little supernatural for me. I'd rather stick to science.
Again, we're figuring this out together.
So,
and then 3 is
robot skeletons.
Yeah, robot skeletons. And then 3 is Jesus shows up in like 15 years, but the Nazi stuff still happens anyway. So your optimistic scenario is just the Nazi stuff happens anyway. I mean, the first one's, I guess, the most optimistic, but you've pretty much ruled that out.
But Jesus comes.
So we just have to show some endurance, essentially.
Right. Show some buck up, man. Pull yourself up by the bootstraps. Just be good to each other. Live, hey, treat others like you want to be treated. That kind of stuff. We could do that for 7 years. We can fake our way through that. And then Jesus comes. But if he doesn't come, because we faked it, we actually start to live that way. And when he doesn't show up, sure, some of us are disappointed. Others are like, no, but let's sing a song, on the way to the gallows. And we're like, that would be really cool. Right. And we're happy about it.
I saw the same segment on Fox and Friends this morning. Where they went through the 3.
Is somebody onto this theory already?
Already.
Wow. Oh, man.
So you're a little late. Brian Kilmeade was all over this one this morning.
So was CNN. I was
really?
Same deal.
Yeah, same thing.
Really?
Yeah. Did they do skeletons, though?
Let me tell you something.
All of it.
Let me tell you something. I think they're all going to be, we're just early on this. I think they're all going to be talking about this soon. I think they're all going to be. Put your hands together. It's Friday. All right.